I'll pay double, triple if I have to. Just cancel that pathetic little wedding and reserve this venue for my daughter's engagement gala. Aunt Vivian's voice tore through the quiet morning at Moonstone Estate. Her perfectly polished fingers stabbed at the contract on the desk. The venue manager, Mrs. Delqua, clutched her phone, hands shaking. I need to call the owner right away, Mrs. Wellington. That was when I pushed open the frosted glass doors, wedding dress sketches tucked under my arm, and chirped, "Hey, Mom." "What's going on?" I had no idea I was stepping straight onto a 20-year-old family landmine. The color drained from Aunt Vivian's face. She swayed, her expression flipping through emotions like a slot machine. Shock, disbelief, then sheer horror. Behind her, my cousin Isabella gripped her Birkin so tightly her knuckles turned white, her freshly plumped lips parting in a perfect O. "Savannah." My aunt's voice cracked like fine china shattering on marble. "What? How? Why are you here?" "Well," I said, savoring the moment more than I probably should have, "I assume for the same reason you are, to talk wedding arrangements. Specifically, the Roberts-Carter wedding you're so eager to cancel." Her face went blank. "Though you know that if you'd RSVP'd," I added, instead of pretending I dropped dead 3 years ago. My mother, Margaret Delqua, owner of Moonstone Estate and the woman who turned her divorce settlement into the Hamptons' most exclusive wedding destination, looked between us like someone who just solved a wicked riddle. "The Robertson wedding," she said slowly, emphasizing each syllable. "That's your daughter's event?" "That's impossible," Isabella blurted, finding her voice. "She's marrying some nobody. A firefighter or something blue-collar." "Paramedic," I corrected evenly. "And his name's Mark." Always an excuse at the ready. The silence that followed was suffocating. Even the morning bird outside seemed to stop mid-song. "You don't know what you're saying," Aunt Vivian muttered, though the sharpness had drained from her voice. "Don't I?" I pulled a chair out and sank into it, suddenly drained. "Summer 2019. You showed up to the charity gala with a broken wrist. Claimed you'd fallen off a horse, but you hadn't ridden in years. Christmas 2020, concussion, skiing mishap. Only there wasn't any snow that December. Then last 4th of July. Stop. The word barely carried above a whisper. "I tried to help," I said softly. "Called you over and over, left voicemails, sent you links and resources. You blocked my number and told everyone I was spreading lies out of jealousy for your perfect little life." Isabella sank into the chair beside me. "You tried to help?" "Of course I did. She's still my aunt no matter what's happened." I looked at Aunt Vivian, who seemed to have aged a decade in just 10 minutes. "Just like you're still my cousin," I added, "even though you've spent our whole lives chasing a prize that doesn't exist." "I don't compete," Isabella said. "Really? You literally hired someone to flirt with my high school boyfriend just to prove you could. You applied to every college I did just to see who'd get in more. You even dated Marcus before I did." "What?" Isabella's head snapped up. "Oh, you didn't know?" I said, my voice flat. "Yeah. He was one of your freshman conquests at Brown, the pre-med you dumped because he was, and I quote, too obsessed with saving lives to make real money." Isabella's face froze in disbelief. "Marcus Carter? Your Marcus was my Marcus from, oh my God." She covered her face with trembling hands. "He was the one that got away. The one who actually cared about me, not my trust fund." But Isabella was already speaking. "I was 16 when I found the medical files," she said quietly. 2 terminations before I was born, and 1 after. All because having children didn't fit into father's career plans. "Those were different times," her mother began, but Isabella was already unlocking her phone. "Really," she said, scrolling, "because I've got the receipts. Literally, private clinic bills, all charged to your personal account so father wouldn't see them." She lifted her gaze. "Is that why you stay?" "Because he doesn't know. Because you're terrified he'll find out you weren't the flawless wife, giving him heirs on command." Aunt Vivian sank into a chair, the careful mask she wore for decades beginning to crumble. "You don't understand what it was like," she whispered. "The pressure, the expectations, your grandfather." "Grandfather's been gone 15 years, I said gently. "Who are you still performing for?" The question hung between us, heavy and accusing. "I loved someone once," Aunt Vivian blurted suddenly, the confession spilling out like a dam breaking. Before your uncle. He was a teacher. Can you imagine? A teacher like your Marcus with his little dreams of a community clinic. My parents threatened to disown me, to cut me off completely. I was 21, terrified, and I chose safety over love. And you've punished everyone who made a different choice ever since, I said softly, the realization settling in. That's why you despise my relationship with Marcus. It reminded you of what you gave up. Don't psychoanalyze me, she snapped, but the bite was gone from her voice. Mom, Isabella said softly, it's not too late. You could leave him. We both could. Start fresh. With what? Her mother asked bitterly. We have nothing of our own. That's not true, I cut in. Grandmother left trust funds for all the grandchildren, ironclad and untouchable. Isabella already has money that's hers alone. And you, I looked at my aunt. You've got a law degree collecting dust. Yale Law, if I'm not mistaken. That was 30 years ago. So update your credentials. Fair enough, Aunt Vivian said, a faint smile tugging at her lips. Can I? Isabella began, then hesitated. Would it be strange if I came to your wedding? Not to compete, not to show off, just to celebrate with you. You dated the groom, I reminded her. For 3 weeks 12 years ago, Isabella said quickly. And I was terrible to him. Maybe I could apologize. Maybe bring a really fancy toaster as a peace offering, despite, well, everything. I laughed. We're good on toasters, but you could bring those insane brownies you used to make, the ones with the sea salt. Remember those? Savannah, I've spent a decade trying to replicate that recipe, I said. It's literally the one thing of yours I've never been able to outdo. I'll make a triple batch, she promised. And I'll bring copies of the recipe too. No more secrets. No more secrets? Aunt Vivian echoed, nodding. As they gathered their things, no longer storming out, but moving with quiet resolve, Isabella turned back. Savannah, what you said about Marcus mixing emergency medicine with community outreach, does he need help? I mean, I've got all this money sitting around now that I'm not planning a wedding to a drug addict anymore. Maybe psychological services could actually help in community health. I smiled. I'll ask him. I'm sure he'd love that. After they left, Mom and I sat in the stillness of the venue, sunlight spilling through the tall windows where my reception would soon take place. That was, Mom began. Intense? Long overdue. Completely ridiculous. I offered. Healing, she finished softly. Painful, but healing. Do you think they'll really change? I asked. I think they'll try, Mom said. And that's more effort than most ever give. My phone buzzed. Marcus, as always, sending his morning text. Saving lives and missing you. Reminder that I love you more than coffee, which says a lot at 5 a.m. Can't wait to marry you in 10 weeks. I showed Mom, who smiled. He's perfect for you. Perfectly imperfect, I said. He leaves socks everywhere, can only cook ramen, works ridiculous hours, and comes home covered in other people's bodily fluids. He'll never make the Forbes list or charm his way into a country club, but he makes me laugh until my stomach hurts. He holds my hand during scary movies, even though he's more terrified than I am. He wants to make the world better, one patient at a time. And he loves me, really loves me, not the Wellington name, not the trust fund, not what I could offer him socially. Just me. That's worth everything, Mom whispered. Everything, I agreed. As I left the venue, my wedding folder tucked safely under my arm, I thought about family, the one you're born into and the one you build yourself. Sometimes they overlap. Sometimes they're galaxies apart. And sometimes, on rare mornings in unexpected places, they crash together and make space for something new. 10 weeks until I married Marcus. 10 weeks